What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Woman said, I rode with a black man that was consuming red pill content from YouTube. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
I took a shared ride with a black man that was consuming red pill content, and I want to talk about it real quickly. First of all, it is not surprising. We have acknowledged that black men definitely consume red pill content. You can just look at my comments sometimes when I mention anything about dating. There's a clear link to black men consuming red pill content and white supremacy, which is, we already know. Basically, it's a shared ride. Two people sit in the back, including him. He's watching YouTube loudly on his phone. I get in the front and I put in my headphones, but I turn the volume down because I've never consumed red pill content and I was very curious. The YouTuber was going around and asking women if they know what misogyny is or something about what do you think of misogyny? And you could tell that the clip was being chopped up, but the way it was framed and the way it was posted is none of the women, zero of the women he asked what misogyny was, they didn't know what misogyny even meant. Mind you, this man is like cackling in the back, bro. He's like, yeah, they always be talking about using these big words. They don't even know what they talking about. They don't even know what they talking about. Not even realizing he's consuming propaganda. But then I was glad my ride took a little bit longer because the YouTuber has a reflective statement and he goes on like a rant. I'm not going to fully quote him, but he goes on a speech about why he doesn't care if people call him any of the isms or isists. They say sexism. They say misogyny. They say racism. They don't know what that means and it doesn't exist. Did you catch it? Did you catch it? He sprinkled in a little bit of racism doesn't exist while talking about sexism doesn't exist. And he did it so flawlessly, you all. That black man didn't even shift in his seat at the notion that racism and disproportionate inequalities exist. Mind you, we're in a shared Uber ride. We are all trying to save money and we're all getting dropped off in the similar neighborhood. What do you mean? 1 + 1 was not equaling 2. And that short time in that car confirmed what we already knew.
All right. I don't know what person thinks racism does not exist. Now, here's something I've noticed personally from doing this type of content. She's talking about the link between RP and white supremacy. I'm not about to get into that. But I will say this. A lot of black men do consume RP content. And it's not for the reasons that these women would try to justify it because they don't want to actually listen to what these men are talking about. But it really just comes down to most black men are socially conservative. When it comes to relationships, dating, intersexual dynamics, men and women, family structure, regardless of a man's socioeconomic status within the black community, they usually lean towards having more conservative values. They want a type of dynamic where a man takes charge and a woman takes that supportive role. And that's just what it is. And the issue is when it comes to relationships from a lot of black women's perspective, they usually have more liberal opinions. They're seeking partnerships. They're wondering why they can't be the man. And it doesn't matter usually what status that black man is. It doesn't matter where he works, blue collar, white collar, whatever. When it comes to relationships, most black men tend to agree than they would disagree in a lot of topics. Let's check out some of these comments and see what the people have to say. What do you guys think of what I just said? First commenter here, a woman says, my ex is deep in red pill content. When I found out he was listening to Alpha Male Podcast and Jordan Peterson, I knew it was time to file. File. Oh shit, you divorced your husband because he was listening to Jordan Peterson? Here's another comment that says, I started crying when I overheard my husband listening to Fresh and Fit. Damn. Crying tears a few years back. I think he stopped after that. She started crying and stuff. Yo, here's another comment that says, I can note the purple hair in the photo. Here's another comment that says, I consume red pill content plus creators who critique that community because it's so important to know how the men are being radicalized and what to look for. Another comment here says, he's watching YouTube loudly on his phone, tells me everything I need to know. I wouldn't watch my content loudly around anybody else. I do think that's kind of strange. Here's another comment that says, he ain't slick. He turned that volume up because he wanted you to hear it. Somebody else here says, my second oldest brother has been in this community since like 2011. I don't know when it started being labeled red pill, but I know he's been on that. Somebody else here says, my ex, another woman here, my ex was a narcissist and fed into the red pill content. I knew it was time to get out of the relationship. So a bunch of angry exes here are upset that their men started drinking coffee and looked at them a little bit differently because they saw the truth. Here's another comment that says, girl, my ex's brother would blast the podcast in the car. He's also a password bro that got used. Yeah, he definitely was blasting that content on purpose. Here's another comment that says, I'm stuck on the big words. With the crying emoji, here's somebody else who says, if you can convince him that one doesn't exist, the other can't be that far off. Here's somebody else who says, I think guys listen to that stuff out loud in public because they're desperate for someone to react/debate with them. They want attention. Yeah, man, if you're out here playing RP content on, like, spewing the same rhetoric on dates, playing it out loud because you want to argue. I've already explained that. People that don't understand that that's just strange, there's nothing you can do for them, unfortunately. They'll argue in the comment section down below. Somebody else here says, and so sad that people don't do any type of vetting. With the crying emoji with who they watch online. It's so embarrassing because it's so easy to slip into a space where you're fed a bunch of bull, kind of like TikTok. Here's somebody else who says, my ex, with a bunch of exclamation marks. We would always debate about this stuff, and he wrote me off as argumentative in the end. Like, no, sir, you're brainwashed. But here she is by herself, and he's probably found another woman. Here's another comment that says, my ex was deep in, wow, bunch of bitter exes in this post. Bunch of bitter exes in this post are mad. My ex was deep into red pill content while we were dating. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Somebody else here says, I am just happy you got out safely. What was he gonna do? Yo, these chicks are crazy. Somebody says, responding back to that with the laughing emoji, says, bro, what? Wow. Yeah, and then they'll treat you like you're a threat to society. That's insane. That's insane. Listen, as always, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.